You are sitting in the back of a rideshare stuck in airport traffic, watching 47 minutes count down on your phone until the check-in counter closes, not the gate. The counter closes. You booked this ticket 6 weeks ago at 11 at night, $189, and grabbed it before the price could change. You reach the counter, out of breath. The agent sets your bag on the scale without a word. 53.8 pounds. The limit is 50. The overweight fee reads $100, and your banking app, still open in your other hand, shows $26 left. You do not have the $100, so you step out of the line, kneel down on the terminal floor, and unzip the bag right there, in front of everyone waiting behind you. You pull on the heaviest sweatshirt you packed, right there on the floor. 2 books go into the outer pocket of your personal item. A pair of boots ends up carried under your arm, because there is nowhere left to put them. The bag goes back on the scale. 49.4 pounds. The agent prints the tag without looking up, and something in you already knows this exact feeling is going to happen again before it ever gets easier. You clear security still wearing the sweatshirt, boots in hand, and drop into the middle seat of row 31 with 6 minutes to spare, telling yourself it's fine, because right now the ticket was the only part of this trip you could actually control. You didn't buy a seat, or insurance, or the right to change your mind. You bought the cheapest way through the door, and everything waiting on the other side of that door, you're about to learn, gets priced separately. A few years later, at the same gate area, you watch someone walk past the entire economy line through a separate entrance without stopping once, and for the first time you actually wonder what that costs and what it buys. That evening you sit with a travel credit card application open on your laptop, a $450 annual fee sitting right there in the terms, and your hand almost closes the tab out of pure habit. Your friend Daniel notices the tab still open when he stops by. He tells you the fee paid for itself. The very first time his bag ran heavy, and nobody at the counter charged him a cent. You run the math on the lounge visits, the waived fees, and the annual travel credit, and for the first time you're not buying the cheapest option in front of you. You're buying a buffer against the moments that used to cost you the most. Same airport, same traffic, same 40-something minutes on the clock. But this time, the agent sees the card on file, sees your bag read 54.2 pounds, and waives the fee without saying a single word. You keep your shoes on through the priority security lane, clear screening in under 4 minutes, and board in group 2, while the overhead bin above your seat still has plenty of room. You sit down in the aisle seat you picked 3 weeks ago at no extra charge, and for the first time in this airport, you notice you are not breathing hard. The flights keep adding up, 35 a year by the time the airline's January recap lands in your inbox, and platinum status now means a direct line, answered by an actual person, not a hold queue. The bag runs heavy again, 55 pounds this time, and the fee disappears before you even open your mouth, because the agent reads your status before she reads your name. You walk past the line still forming at the gate and go straight into the lounge, into a chair that isn't a gate chair, holding a drink that didn't cost you $11. You've learned to read this building the way a local reads a city. When a Friday delay gets announced at 6, you're already standing at the rebooking desk before the line behind you even forms. If you've ever paid a little more for convenience and felt it was worth every dollar, you already know exactly which side of this decision you'd choose, because you've been choosing it every year since then. A promotion changes the ticket your company books for you, and the overweight bag stops being a problem you solve, because 2 checked bags come free now, and nobody at this counter is looking for a reason to charge you. It's the same terminal you stood in at 24, but the building you move through now barely intersects with the one everyone else is standing in, and one flight attendant is caring for 4 rows instead of 30 waiting. By your mid-40s, the question isn't whether to fly business anymore. It's which airline earns that seat, because you've learned the difference between a seat that reclines and one that actually goes fully flat well. At home, you transfer 70,000 points into a business class seat to Tokyo that would have cost $11,000 in cash, and it doesn't feel like luck. It feels like finally reading something everyone else skipped. Somewhere back around platinum, the overweight bag stopped being a concept that applied to you at all, and it has never once come back. A trip comes up with no direct flight, and a connection that would eat an entire day, so for the first time you charter a plane, splitting the cost with 4 other travelers instead of losing the day. There's no terminal, no security line, no boarding group, You walk into a small lobby, sit down, and the plane leaves when you're ready. Not when a schedule somewhere decided you should be. Owning a plane outright would mean hangar fees and maintenance reserves whether you fly or not. So instead you set up a jet card, guaranteed access with 24 hours notice, without any of the weight of ownership. You haven't stood in a commercial security line in 4 years. And the industry that once defined your entire relationship with travel barely registers you as a customer anymore. The aircraft you fly now belongs to a holding company, and a flight management team handles the maintenance, the crew, and the filings, none of which you ever have to think about again. You tell Grace, your assistant, where you need to be and when, and somewhere below you, the logistics quietly turn that one sentence into a flight. Nobody weighs your bag. Nobody asks you to open it on a terminal floor. The version of you that once wore a sweatshirt just to make weight simply doesn't live in this airport anymore. You take a morning meeting in one city and sit down for dinner in another that same evening. And the only thing that actually changed since that first flight is what you decided the number on the ticket was buying.